Well, it's certainly
Nigerians are like having to
it's not.
Nigerians are having to like go to other countries again, like move to like England and get their passports from other countries because most of the world ain't accepting it.
Well, it's not an American Express card, believe me.
All right, I'm about to put a post up on. Let me put a post up.
Hello, I'm about to go live with Dwan B. It's so cool. He's got a nice wife, but I think she wears the pants sometimes. She's the strong, silent type, sort of like Milena. She's a dominatrix.
All right, cool. We about to start in what's this countdown? Okay, 22 seconds. Sorry, 22 seconds. Okay, that's in check. That's in check. That's in check. We're on Patreon, so there's no long intro. Here we go. What's up, Patreon? We are here with Dr. Randy Short. You see Dr. Short right now with the Trump wig on. This is a Patreon exclusive. Please do not share because here on Patreon, this is for you guys only. And it ain't no telling what Dr. Short's gonna say, and I don't want to filter him, so that's why we're here on Patreon. Again, if I could get a section or two that I think is safe for YouTube, I may clip out a few sections and put them up on YouTube. But please do not share because I do not want my channel to get a strike, and at the same time, I don't want to filter Dr. Randy Short because there is so much going on right now with the re-election of Donald Trump, and now Dr. Randy Short has his Donald Trump wig on, so we're going to hear what he got to say. And for those of you on the questions tier, we'll get to your questions after Dr. Short gets to cooking because your questions may be answered while he's talking. So we're going to get to you. For those of you on the questions tier, your questions are going to come a little bit later on into the broadcast. But in the meantime, welcome, Dr. Randy Short. How's it going, Dr. Short?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. You know, I'm celebrating the Boule losing. In fact, I have another name for the Boule and all their people together. In fact, they have a movement. Have you heard of it?
What is it?
Black lives don't matter.
That's how they act.
They're just crying. I mean, you would have thought all the black people that were glad Martin Luther King was dead was celebrating the other day. I had no idea Dr. King was this popular. The only thing these people know is that Dr. King got extra pussy until Donald Trump's inaugural came up. Now everybody wants to celebrate Dr. King.
Right. It's like all of a sudden he's the man of the hour, you know?
And
And
they
it's
don't get
still the
anything
immigration part.
and they don't get anything right. This is, well, didn't he have a speech, I have a wet dream? And it's like, okay, yeah. So
So, Dr. Short, I want you to expound upon the point that you just made about it more than anything else. This is about the Boule losing. Talk to us about why that's so important.
well, let's be honest. The the black elite, the top tier black people, have betrayed us for 60 years straight. 60. And they got everything in exchange for betraying us. And, well, can I prove that? Yes. The real big part where the Boule decided to betray the masses of black people occurred in the summer of 1964. I wasn't alive, although my mother and father did it around the time this betrayal happened. So it's interesting. Maybe that's why I hate the Boule so much. Um, when the black people all over the country, in the South and other places, but in particular in Mississippi, where they had killed people, bombed people, beat people, tortured people, castrated people, drowned people, over the right to vote. Notice how these niggas were screaming, telling us to vote, 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 right? When the masses of black people, in particular the poorest of black people in the country, in the Mississippi Delta and the Deep South, were trying to vote, were being murdered by the Southern Democratic parties, in particular that in Mississippi. They created in Mississippi the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party. I was friends to people in that party. Bob Moses of Freedom Summer, I knew Bob Moses. Lawrence Guillot, Bernice Johnson Reagan, who just died, is a cousin of mine. A range of these people, the guy who runs the Civil War Museum is from Freedom Summer. Eleanor Holmes Norton's involved in this. I mean, I've been surrounded by the people that were in the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. I knew Stokely Carmichael, Kwame Ture. People I grew up with, they all got betrayed. They got betrayed by Boule Negroes in the Democratic Party when the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party had tens of thousands of votes where they could be represented fairly. They were not seated because of the discrimination of the Democratic Party of Mississippi. They were fighting for the right for their delegates to sit. Everybody knows that speech, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, by Fannie Lou Hamer and Is This America? But the background to that was that Mrs. Hamer, who was beaten half to death, and other women beaten half to death, tortured, dog sicked on them, everything, created the political party, had done everything the right way, and the National Democratic Party, the DNC, same DNC that organized the genocide of black people in East St. Louis, in which maybe 1,000 blacks were murdered and burned alive in their homes, okay, with the Illinois National Guard, okay, with the president not doing anything about it. There's a history of this, right? I'm talking about that's 1917. So understand me. So these people went up to Atlantic City or wherever it was in 1964, and they were protesting, trying to get seated so they could speak for their brothers and sisters in Mississippi and throughout the South who'd been tortured, beaten, killed. Way more people got killed than Dr. King. He just gets all the attention. And what happened, remember, Fannie Lou Hamer is on national television talking about we don't have any democracy, we don't have any freedom, we have no representation, and they cut the television feed. And Johnson came on and gave a special address to the nation because he couldn't handle a nigger washerwoman embarrassing this country with the Chinese and the Russians talking about America being racist. And what Johnson and them began to do is threaten all the Boule, bougie, Democratic Party acolyte Negroes. You guys aren't going to get your butter biscuits and cheese. If you don't do something, if you don't stab these average sharecropping broke slum blacks, you guys won't get the nice government jobs and contracts, the little goodies and giveaways that we could give your black asses. If you guys don't turn your backs on the black people that they are killing and lynching in the South, but you've got to take care of yours. You want your judgeship, you want your block grants, you want this. And so the black people in the Democratic Party throughout the country at those different delegations were against the black people demanding the right to vote. So when these people talk about us sitting home, these fucking liars, when it suited black people, the masses, for us to have political power through voting, they voted against us. Now in this last election, 60 years later, same summer convention, the same people tell us, you must participate. That bitch Oprah Winfrey. You guys can't sit this out. But yet the Boule has sat out on the inclusion, reparation, restoration, and repair of the masses of black people in this country for 60 years, and they've been handily and heavily rewarded for letting the rest of us be left hung out to dry.
Mm,
60 years. And just like, and there were rumblings that this thing's falling apart, there was a Boule civil war 40 years ago when people were
yes.
calling Coretta Scott King bitch and all this other stuff down in Atlanta. It was good, clean fun. I loved it. They were all fighting because the Atlanta Boule people, Andrew Dumb, Coretta Scott King, and all the other civil rights burnouts, were with, what's this dude, Walter Mondale,
Yes, Walter
against
Mondale.
Jesse Jackson and all the grassroots black people that were trying to get some political power and access off of the energy that came out of the Harold Washington victory in Chicago. And they stabbed the people in the back yet again. And what they did was they hid behind dead Martin Luther King. My point is kill all their asses if they're in the way of us
So they,
getting reparations and freedom.
that's so they hid behind Dr. King.
Yet my
That,
point is to shoot everybody in the family if it's standing in the way of us getting free. Damn. I mean,
damn.
it's not fair. It's not fair to say one death means that a whole
Right.
people can't have anything. Not to trivialize Dr. King, but then again, I don't hang on balconies. I just don't do that for general purposes.
Yeah, yeah. Wow, 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 wow. So, Dr. Short, we have that when so the Boule basically turned it back on the Kings, the real Kings. I ain't talking about the
The
ones
fake ones, right?
yeah, I'm talking about the real Kings. And they've been running basically things ever since, and that's when you
They've been
start to
running
see.
things, and then and each time there's been an effort. Let's do it again. Eight 8 years after they did it in the summer of 64, they did it in the
Uh,
summer of 72, where the Boule wrecked the Black National, I'm sorry, it was a Black Power Conference in Gary, Indiana in 1972. And Boule type black folks aligned again over the Democratic Party and the unions, controlled by Jews and communists and liberals and gays, broke. They would not let black people come together as a unified force. They would lose what they had. You see, the Boule is an appendage of the Democratic Party. The Boule is sort of like what the testicles are to a penis. They provide the juice. And black voters are the
okay, okay,
juice
okay.
that you can be as hard as you want, but if you don't have any juice, it's the hardness don't really matter. It's just a dry
Yes.
run, like what Kamala had.
Dr. Short, you starting us already off right. You started us already off right. So let's get into okay this election. What did we just see happen? We saw Donald Trump got in, and you and I have already been talking about how we see this civil war that's coming together within the Republican Party,
And within the
and
black community and within the Democratic Party. The-
we're gonna
eh,
get to them too. We're gonna get. I'm taking this one by one. I'm gonna get to the Democrats. I want to start off with the Republicans.
mm.
Then we're gonna get Democrats because I want to make sure. I want to give you time to break down both. So let's start off with the Republicans. Because you were the ones that mentioned Ramaswamy being out of here by March at the absolute latest. You said at the
Scamaswamy.
latest. Yeah. So
Scamaswamy.
we see Ramaswamy's out. We saw
Scamaswamy.
Elon Musk put up the Hitler sign yesterday. I want to start with Ramaswamy, then we're gonna get to Musk Hitler. What do you have to say about him being out and how that was put together and how they're saying that Elon Musk had a lot to do with it?
Well, first of all, let's just remind people Elon Musk is a white South African Jew. White South African Jews are the primary beneficiaries of the genocide and enslavement, marginalization, and exploitation of blacks in South Africa. That's just a fact. And people don't talk about it. I mean, the Oppenheimers, the big, Anglo American Corporation owns 60% or more has 60% or more control of the South African economy. Anglo-American is controlled by the Oppenheimers. The Oppenheimers are Jews. Just saying, and that's fact. They have it on lock. Yeah, and they got Namibia too. Diamonds? Where do you think the diamonds are going? They're going to Israel. Duh,
Okay.
duh. De Beers, right? I'm just saying to you. I mean, I don't
What
know
do you
what.
have to say about the people saying that it's no way Elon Musk can be a Nazi because he's also Jewish? What do you say to people that say that?
They don't know anything about history. Um, and
Okay, I want you to say it. Go ahead.
They don't know anything about history. Well, look, we had a Nazi party in the United States run by George Lincoln Rockwell. They had Jewish Americans that were Nazis in the United States. I mean, after the Holocaust, they still joined.
And like, how is that
I
people
mean,
talk
that's, I
about
mean, what do you do?
the Paris?
Do you blame, are you going to blame me for these people? I mean, so people,
Yeah,
people
I'm gonna
need to,
expound upon
pe-
the point you
pe-
just made real quick. Because here, when the Palisades just burned, in the area of the Palisades that just got burnt down, there's a place called Murphy Ranch, and it was an operational Nazi training facility going back to the 30s, right
yes.
here in the Palisades, in an area that's heavily Jewish.
Look, sir, Hitler's armies had at least over 100,000 Jewish men served Hitler under arms. Easily over 15 of Hitler's generals were Jewish. Adolf Hitler is the godfather of the state of Israel. Whether people like what I'm saying or not, it's called the Havara Agreement or the Transfer Agreement. That Jewish people that wanted to leave Germany, Hitler then facilitated Jews going to Palestine. That's basically how Israel really started taking off, was when Hitler helped Jewish people that they didn't want in Germany go to Israel. And Hitler kept, that's the one agreement Hitler's ass kept, was helping Jews leave Germany for Palestine. It is the English, I've got like a $200 book I can pull out. It's called Whitehall and the Jews. Whitehall is the Foreign Office of England. The English wouldn't let the Jews into England. America wouldn't let Jews into America. A whole bunch, Canada wouldn't take the Jews. But Hitler was willing. He just wanted them to get the fuck out. Yes, he hated them, but they could leave. The American government, the British government, the Canadian government would not let those people out because they did not want them. How dare them just make Hitler the beast? Hitler had a lot of company, and I'm sorry, they're related to me. I'm a descendant of the DuPont family. The white folk in my family sent over the ingredients to gas the Jews. Yeah, I ain't do nothing to nobody, right? I'm just telling you, the DuPonts gave them the chemicals for the Zyklon B. George Bush's family helped set up Auschwitz, was created by the Walker family, Herbert Walker Bush. The Bush family were the bankers for Hitler.
And what about Ford?
Ford made Hitler a millionaire. Ford would give Hitler money on his birthday, tens of thousands of dollars. If you understand, Germany had the Reich, the German mark was far less than the dollar, especially when Germany was in depression. Hitler was a wealthy man because of Ford, Henry Ford, and Hitler learned a whole lot about hating Jews from Henry Ford. And Hitler's idea of deporting Jews from Germany, he got from Thomas Jefferson's ideas on deporting black Americans back to Africa. There's a very strong, I mean, the Germans learned about exterminating people and eugenics. They got it from America because of what America wanted to do to black people. This is no secret.
See, and these are all things that
Uh,
Dr. Sanders Short is saying. Although I have to give a disclaimer, you can look this stuff up. We have to give a disclaimer. The thoughts and views expressed on here are not necessarily the thoughts and views of the host. But with that being said, when you really study that time period, and you, like I said earlier on my live, when you want to know more, you can find deeper information on what Dr. Short is talking about. But like we all understand, these also, in a lot of ways, are the people who control the flow of information in a lot of the books that get out there. So, like Dr. Short said, one of the books that he has, he said $200, because a lot of this stuff, it may get written and it gets taken out of publication or redone. But if you yeah, you don't have to look long. You do not have to look long to find further information on a lot of this stuff. So I encourage y'all to go further.
oh,
Hell,
that's a
Farrakhan's
good.
book,
That's a very good
The
book.
Secret Relationship, that book.
That no,
Go
but
ahead.
there's a good book by I believe Edwin Black called War on the Weak or War Against the Weak. I have no problem. I mean, I could just bring a stack. I didn't know you were going to ask me that question. There's another book called The Transfer Agreement. I mean, I have. You can look around. I got tons of books. I mean, on this particular subject, and I'm not here to attack Jewish people. I'm always direct about my lineage, which is partial Hebrew and Ashkenazi in part. It just is. I mean, what can I do about it? Raised by Ashkenazi Ukrainian. I don't hate people. My great great uncle, 80 years ago, was being tortured by the Nazis in Belgium. I don't have this love for Hitler or Nazism or the
Never loved
persecution
Hitler.
of Jews, and no damn way. But you call a spade, okay? And that has to be done. And the other thing I'm going to say is that the American Jews did practically nothing to save European Jews because they were concerned about their jobs and status here in the United States. They did to their Jewish brothers and sisters in Europe what the Boule does to us in America right now. And that the
Wow.
Holocaust against the Jews was facilitated by elite Jews that didn't like the dirty, less assimilated, poorer Jews. Just like the all these sick ass black elite boule, black lives don't matter types run around thinking abortion's the only thing we care about or the only thing we need.
Wow. Dr. Short, so now that you laid that foundation down, let's circle back to Rama's, like,
Oh, I
what
want to say one more
differentiates what
thing.
we not understand
Ho-
about America. Go ahead,
One more
finish. Go ahead, go
thing.
ahead.
The white South Africans, even now, have a Nazi party, a very strong Nazi movement. Their leader, Terra Blanche, is deceased, but they have a three-prong swastika versus a four-prong. And the English government had to force the Union of South Africa to support the Allies in the Second World War because they were for the Nazis.
Oh,
So
wow.
for Elon Musk to have Nazi sympathies, that's typical. There's a book, if you can find it. I have a copy. It took me, someone stole my copy, an African stole my copy, and it took me 30 years to get another one. The book is called Apartheid South African Nazism.
Uh,
Nazism is part of the white South African tradition. Just is. Choke on it. So Elon Musk this is what I told you. I call him eat my butt.
see, Dr. Short, you cooking right now. I want to circle on back to what we were talking about. What did Vivek Ramaswamy not understand about America
Uh,
for you to be able to call it so fast? What was it that he did not know that made it easy for you to call it so fast that he be out of here?
well, he's in a nativist.
And is Elon Musk making the same mistake with the Nazi thing? Go ahead.
Vivek is quite stupid in the sense that you're in a nativist movement and you're not a native. That's like a Black Panther going to a Klan rally and surprised that they're putting his ass on a rope. These people are America first for Americans, and you're not really an American. What did you not get about it? And their idea, ideally for them, America's white. He isn't white, although you have to understand that Vivek Ramaswamy also comes from a society where the Hindu elite are strong Hitler admirers and have been for over 80 years. So you've got him, Scamaswamy, and Eat My Butt both come from subcultures within a national society where Hitlerism and Aryanism is esteemed and admired.
Okay. Keep cooking.
So Scamaswamy, in his book, being a Brahmin, they see themselves, they have an Aryan movement in India, Aryanism. They were aligned with Hitler. Hitler was going to help Indians get independence from the British. At least they thought. And the Japanese were going to help them. There is a guy named Chandra Bose. He's a Bengali terrorist nationalist leader who is head of what's called the Indian National Army that the Japanese helped arm to fight the British and the Indians, who constituted at least a third of the Imperial British Army in the Second World War in Myanmar, aka Burma. Okay, there was a whole movement during the Second World War called Quit India, led by Gandhi and Jawaharlal Nehru. Quit India meant they wanted the British out. They didn't support the British war effort. And during the war, the British caused over 6 million Indians to starve to death. 6 million, that's another 6 million for you. At least 6 million. So these people, the Aryans, the Aryan movement, even right now, the head of state in India is a Nazi. He's part of this Aryan, the chosen race, master race, but from a Hindu perspective. They identified, they have an affiliate of the Nazi movement. It's really long, but it's called the RSS. And we can do another discussion on it. It's a whole bunch, long ass syllable words. But RSS, Indians will know. If you just start talking about RSS, they're going to check you out. These are the fanatical Hindu Nazi fascists. They hate Christians, they hate Muslims, they hate people that are not in their caste, and they dominate Indian society. Vivek Ramaswamy is from that element, as is Kamala Harris. However, Kamala Harris's family were traitors. They supported British colonization and not Indian independence. That's how that whore's mother was able to come to America and study. Or I should say the family had the money or the means or the connections for them to be able to afford to send someone to America to study, because they were Boule coons to the English in India, the same way the Obamas were coon Boules to the British in Kenya. And they all have CIA connections. Kamala's mama did, Obama's father and mother and all of them, grandparents.
Their connection to the Bushes.
But that's CIA. Damn. If you go, I've been up to the CIA. It's called the George Bush campus. How much more
Uh,
CIA are you? So
shit.
Vivek Ramaswamy had not figured out that he's a coolie nigger. He's just not a black nigger.
Mm-hmm.
So he's
Mm-hmm.
got his coolie nigga wake up call, and so he can cry and eat his roadies somewhere. He will never be governor of Ohio. It will never, ever happen.
I question now. What's the connection with Elon Musk? Do you think Elon Musk and his Nazi salute? Do you think that he's overplaying his hand similar to Ramaswamy?
Um, yeah, but he's white. He's going to get more chances.
uh, well, yeah,
He's,
that's about
he's,
how it goes.
but you know what? See, he can, if he does some more stuff or mouths off about it, what I think is going to happen to Eat My Butt is that they're going to be people that boycott his brand because, the cars are for shit, just like he's for shit. I mean, and people are going to start talking about him being a scammer. I mean, anybody could get rich if you got huge amounts of money and got some smart people. I mean, Harvard's a hoax. You
Yeah.
get you get a library, the best libraries, the best teachers. You could make almost anybody smart. I think you heard about because you're an educator. You remember Project 2000?
Yeah.
Did you know that was my cousin that ran Project 2000? He could get any
No.
kind of kid, foster kid, anybody fucked up, and train them to go to Harvard or Princeton within months, and they wouldn't give the
I did
money.
not know.
They wouldn't support
That
this. They
that
would.
program was pretty good. Like I forgot all about that program. Tell people about the program.
Okay,
It has some
my
amazing stories.
my
Real quickly, tell people who don't know what it's about.
okay, my cousin's name is Dr. Spencer Holland. He's a graduate of
Yeah.
Columbia University. When you hear people with the last name Holland, they're my cousins. They're either from North Carolina or Virginia. Uh, so I'm wondering if the people wrote all the songs at Motown are my cousins because they're from North Carolina. So the Hollands, all of us, North Carolina, Virginia, just like you folks, and they're brilliant. The whole family's brilliant. This they're just smart ass people, black Indian type people. We've been here for forever, and he went to Columbia, and his mission was to prove that black children could learn. And he learned that they're saying black boys couldn't learn. He worked in public school system. People would not let him teach. You know how that is. Nobody talks about it. I was in school, they would not let you educate, in particular, a whole bunch of fucked up black stud bitches out here who are about to catch hell with the new Trump administration. Thank you, thank you. Uh, so Spencer decided to create his own program to prove that even poor, marginalized black boys could compete with anybody if you loved them. If you cared about them and you talked to them, they would immediately respond and start learning. And this guy would get kids that were in the worst school discipline, and they would turn around and be the best students within weeks. And because they weren't treated well in the schools, he created his own program. So just send me all the fucked up young black men. If you don't want them, give them to me. They don't come to school, I want them. I'll go to their house and tell their mother if I have to pick them up and bring them to school. And all those kids, he had like 100%, they all went to Ivy League schools, full scholarships. But the school system wouldn't support him. And the main person giving money to his project, um, Clarence Thomas.
See,
Clarence Thomas
see,
was funding the project.
I didn't even know Clarence Thomas funded that. See, it's always deeper than what we know on surface level. Always is.
Clarence Thomas was making people give money to it, shaking down white folks, sending it to the school. Whatever this guy asked for, whatever Clarence Thomas right, whatever you want for these boys, I'll do it. Just call me. Just don't tell people I did it.
If there, it's a lot of those Clarence stories, Thomas stories that you hear about him doing all the things that he did not want people giving him credit for. So now that you've explained what that is and what that's all about, talk to us now. I want to ask a question that was given to me from someone on the Patreon level. They asked, I want to transition into to Trump and what this all means. So I want to start with their question. Do you think there was any executive order signed by Trump yesterday to put in place anything for basically Black Americans? Was there anything? Was it as beneficial in any kind of way by the executive orders that he signed? Anything that stands out to you?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
The ending of the birthright citizenship thing. That's
Okay.
for us. That was put in for us to overturn the Dred Scott decision that blacks couldn't be citizens of the United States. And instead, what these racists and others have done is taken something that was put specifically to help us to give to other people that are against us. Now, what I will say is this: more has to be done, but I'll be honest with you. The We've got a despicable traitor leadership and other communities and other people. They would be killing and burning these people. Not that I'm saying please don't hurt or touch anybody, but the people who refuse to sit across the table and cut a deal with Trump for the betterment of our people. This man's going to sit over a multi-trillion-dollar economy, and you're busy giving him the finger. Then people come back and ask, what is he going to give us? Why are we so fucking stupid? I don't need to love you. You don't love your bosses. You don't love people you get contracts from. You just get the money and you run with it. Why does he have to French kiss you? Why do you have to slow drag with Trump and swap spit before you can see that this person's sitting with the fucking ATM machine called the US Treasury and you need some money? Look at how Elon Musk, who's the richest man in the world, whoring after Donald Trump like he wants to get boofed up the ass. It's not because he likes Trump, it's because Trump's got money to give out.
I wanna pause on that moment you just said right there because I think that has to really be highlighted. But the people out there, there's a lot of people out there that are like you saying, oh, why did Snoop do the thing with Trump and why would never talk to Trump? Look, Elon Musk, and I made this point on that caller that called into the show yesterday. Elon Musk is the richest man in the world, and he's a lifelong Democrat. People don't understand that the reason why Zuckerberg, all these guys are multi-trillionaires now is because of an act Democrat Barack Obama signed. It was when Barack Obama was doing the Recovery Act, when he basically gave a blank check to Silicon Valley, deregulated things for Silicon Valley. That's the reason why the tech guys from 2011 till now overtook the old school money, Warren Buffett and those people. It's the reason why they're happy, just because of Democrat policies. But to show you that people are not tied to parties, they're tied to the money, the minute it stopped going in their favor and they saw a new horse to jump on, they switched parties so goddamn fast. And now you got we saw Trump inauguration, Zuckerberg, Bezos, and Musk was there, along with other people who are just as wealthy that we don't know their names. For the richest man in the world to switch and go now back somebody he truly hated, well, on paper hated, just 18 months ago, it shows you this politics thing is about following the money. Not about being tied to anybody, not about being loyal to anybody, and it don't matter how the F you feel. You gotta go with who's gonna be the one that's gonna be the most beneficial to you right now. Like what Janet Jackson said, what have you done for me lately?
Or what have you broke off for me lately? And look, it's amazing how black folk can grift when you have a family member that's old. I keep hearing about people literally letting their mothers and fathers die so they can get the house and the property. How dastardly, how backstabbing, how cunning, how vicious and cruel, how cutthroat we can be with one another to get what we want. But when it comes down to getting real money, real power, we're complete yellow bus riders for life. I
Yellow
mean,
bus riders for
I
life.
mean, total
Wow.
retard. I mean, how long are you gonna eat a, s- a dumb nigga's shit sandwich? We need to be thinking about getting paid. I don't care about the parties. I'm a registered Republican. I've been a Republican for 30 plus years. I could care less about any party. I care about policies. I care about my community. I care about my own life. Okay? And I'll vote for anybody that's doing right by us. Jews have a thing. What's good for the Jews? How come black people can't do that? What's good for black people?
Right.
How is that wrong? But you know who thinks negatively about what's good for them? A slave. Slaves think
That's true.
I can't run away. I can't control my own labor. It'll be bad for me to keep my family together. Master needs. That's slave mindedness. That ain't no black militancy. You're a fucking slave. A dumb fuck 21st century space age slave that's with the expiration date that was like last year.
Hmm. That's exactly what it is, man. That's exactly what it is. Dr. Short. So, what do you say is in store moving forward? Now Trump is in office.
Now
He
Trump's
has.
in office, you
Let's give
know.
us let's give us a vision of now through the spring. What's
Now
our
through the
next?
spring, basically, it's the night of the long knives for illegals. You know, I can see Negroes singing the song from The Wiz. Can you feel the brand new day? Can Once you start seeing people and they don't have bass carts with food falling off the sides and shit, and people don't have scooters everywhere, and your Uber driver knows where the fuck he's going, life is going to be go back to normal because these people's asses are going to go home.
Short froze. There he
I
back.
froze because my cousin that worked for TD Jakes just called me. I got to
I'll
call
call
him
back. I'll
back.
call you back.
No, no, I'll call him back.
You go ahead.
So, we're going to see that's what's going to immediately happen. All the news is going to come out. Damn it, everybody's calling. I hate this shit. Are you
It's okay.
okay? All right. Um,
You good? You good? I'm came over here to take my dog, so you good?
so what we're going to see, it's going to be rough for a minute, but we're going to see in particular what I can't wait is to see a whole bunch of big blue cities, leadership and other people being convicted and charged for fraud, for corruption, for harboring, not for profits losing their contracts, people being investigated. The whole infrastructure for this illegal shit is going to be dismantled, you know. And I got my Pentecostal tambourine out. I mean, I start singing Glory, Glory. You know, I had that song, You Can't Harry Trump, You Just Have to Wait. So look, you, people are going to feel good. Your kids won't be getting measles and shit. You won't be getting TB for going to school with all these illegals.
All
Uh,
right.
and I actually think you've already had two border officials murdered by illegals in the last day. And there will be more killings of American personnel by these people. And you're going to see a lot of support for the president and rage. These people are going to commit more crimes as they're desperate. You're going to see some suicides. I mean, so sad, too bad. Wish I had video rights. I mean, you're going to see a lot of this shit fall apart. You're also going to see a growing fight in these new American communities where these people are going to have to kick out the grifters and leeches and other people. People are going to have to snitch and deal with this as well. all kinds of scandals on human trafficking and drugs. You're gonna just see all kinds of shit happen, and you're gonna see people busted in law enforcement that are illegals, who are gang related, that are cartel. This shit's gonna be uprooted, and you will see violence. There will be violence, and I even think there are going to be moves that you're going to see more capital crimes added to the arsenal of the federal government to deal with people. You can't come in this country, kill, rape, and molest people. No, you don't get to spend 40 years in jail on the public's dime because you came here. They need to fry some of these motherfuckers.
And Dr. Short, you said something not big, because here in LA, the LA County Sheriff Department and the LAPD, it's already been uncovered in the investigations that a lot of these sheriff members are tied to the Mexican mafia. Trump said it himself that he's going to target and deem these foreign gangs as terrorist organizations. So, you're right. We can start seeing some indictments come down for real, like, especially in places like LA.
It's coming. Chicago is first.
Okay.
They're gonna smash them. They're gonna smash them in Chicago, and they're gonna hit other cities. I believe that the stupid mayor of Chicago. I can't wait until that. What's his name? What's that broad's name? The Barbara Jordan looking mayor. Looks like Barbara Jordan with the
Chicago
mustache and
is
the
a black
beard.
dude now, right?
Yeah, but he still looks like Barbara Jordan. That
Oh,
dude,
shit.
that dude, he does look like Barbara Jordan. Has like a Groucho Marx some beard and mustache on. That dude, I believe that they're going to arrest his ass. He's corrupt. They're going to get him, and they're going to go after the Chicago Teachers Union. There are going to be a lot of these things that are both union and municipal related. Okay, that they're going to go after, and they're going to uproot people as well. Trump had a law passed in 2017, and a lot of people slept on it. And with this new thing now, did you know your citizenship could be taken from you if you've been convicted of a crime? Oh, yes, you can. That was passed in 2017. They're going to reenact it if it hasn't been reenacted already. That means if you've committed a crime, you've done credit card fraud, identity theft, anything, they have the right to strip you and your family of citizenship, and your kids' asses have to go too.
Nigerians, pay attention. Pay attention, Nigerians. Pay attention.
Their asses are gone. They don't want you. You're out, and you will see it's already happening. You will see some of the black immigrants and other people out protesting the same kind that talk about how dirty and lazy and how bad black Americans are. These folks, no one's going to pay attention to them, and their asses are going to get sent back. And so you can eat fufu anytime you want when you go home. It'll be everywhere. That nasty shit. I don't like fufu. I like a lot of African food, but I don't like fufu. I can't stand it. And I'm telling the African I'm friends with, I don't like that shit. I mean, it looks
I don't
like a
like any African food.
well, no, I like Ethiopian food. There's some good African food, but not that thing that looks like a glob of snot that
Go
people.
ahead.
It looks like snot, and they keep picking it and eating it. It's just no, I don't like that. I don't, and that doesn't. That's to me. If that's what the slave ship saved me from, I'll give the white man thumbs up at least for saving me from fufu. And let me see. And where's my buddy at? Um, I hold on. Let
Go ahead.
let me thank my friend for saving me from fufu. Thanks, dude. I really appreciate you. Thanks for saving us from fufu. Thank you. That's my friend.
White Jesus.
At least he holds a job. The
Yeah,
black
what was his
the
name? My
the
bad. My bad.
black
Go ahead.
the the black Jesus is part time and shit. You know, he's a gig worker. You call him when you're in trouble. But the white one, 24/7. That's why the old niggas swear by him, man. They be calling white Jesus, white Jesus, white Jesus, white Jesus help me, white Jesus. And I ain't calling the nigga one, white Jesus, right?
Dr. Short. So we see this playing out now with Trump. You see how the direction is going. Trump also signed. What do you think about this ending birthright citizenship? I want to hear
I
your
love
opinion
it.
on that.
Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it, baby. Ain't nobody move me. Can't nobody groove me like you do. Like you do.
Like you do.
Do it. Do it. Do it, baby. Do it.
Shouts out to the miracles.
Yes. Do it, baby. You know, and or James Cleveland, Lord, do it for me right now. Because I'm going to tell you, if you've ever had, you live in LA, you've had to deal with these nasty folk who come over with this funky attitude. Go the fuck back to where you come from. Have a revolution where your ass is. Have a civil rights movement. Shit. Do something. Maybe some of your leaders can get shot on the balcony and you can get a holiday too. You know, please go home. Go the fuck back to where you came from. If you don't want to become part of this society, and when you come to America and you're black, they're going to throw you with us. That's not our fault. It's your fault for fucking coming here not researching first of what you're going to end up being.
That right there is big. I remember you take any cultural anthropology class. They talk about moving to a new area, any anthropology class. It's your job as a person going somewhere to research where you're going. No different on Earth. You want to know, am I going to an arid environment? Am I going to a desert?
Mm-hmm.
Am I going to a forest? Am I going to a plain, a beach? That way you can dress the right way. You want to know the social climate. What's the governance? Is it a monarchy? You know, am I going to a monarchy? Am I going to a representative democracy?
Mm-hmm.
And then once you understand that, you want to understand the people. Okay, every group, no matter where you are on Earth, they're rivaling factions. No matter how peaceful a country may look or an organization may look, they're always rivaling factions. And you want to know when you move somewhere, where are you going? That's just business intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't take a wholesale picture at where you're going, you cannot blame that environment for eating you up.
Mm-hmm.
If you decide to go to the desert and not bring water, and you're wearing a burqa, and that's on you. If you decide to go to the goddamn Siberia, dressed like you're going to Miami, Florida in August, that's on you. It's not on the environment if it consumes you. So people have come, they haven't given they listen to the white people's bill of sale, the what they call trifold brochure.
Right.
They read the brochure, but they didn't do the research.
Mm-hmm.
And now people like Vivek, soon to be Elon Musk, a lot of these people that we see getting deported, they're going to lose because they didn't know the totality of what it is. We as black people got to know that it's not our job to save these people. These people, like Dr. Short said, they came in shitting on us. They came in thinking they know it all. So let nature take its course, and we need to sit our asses down and watch it happen.
It's exactly right. And Dewan, I want to remind people this happened before. The minute that they supposedly emancipated black people, right? I'm sorry, I had to do my Maxine Waters adjustment. Um, they brought over the Chinese. The Chinese were supposed to replace black people after the Civil War. And white people had buyer's remorse, and then you had the basically the Japanese and the Chinese or Asian Exclusion Act. I'm calling it, I think it's the Japanese Exclusion Act in 1924. That's 100 years ago. White folks said, "Too many fucking Asians here. We'll keep. We're okay with the black and white society." Then, like what happened in the 1860s and 1870s and 1880s and 90s, and and so forth. They let all these people in, and then white folks said there are too many of these damn people in. Let's just go back to black and white. That's what's happening now. And So I hope that fewer black folks kill babies. Abortion is murder. Abortion's murder. Fuck you. Abortion's murder. Abortion's murder. If you killed a baby, you're a murderer. And if you an accomplice where you sent the bitch to kill the baby because you didn't want to work an extra job, you're a killer. Okay, up yours. Abortion's wrong. Jesus Christ is Lord. Now, back to what I was saying. These people These people, white folks have buyer's remorse with their Negro removal project. They have it all the time. They go back and forth. White privilege means I don't have to make good decisions. I can make stupid public policy, stupid personal decisions. It's black people's fault when I do it. And when I do all these stupid things, I can change my mind against my own stupidity and still blame the people I was trying to screw.
Right, 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 right.
That's white privilege.
It is. And then they brought in a bunch of Europeans through Ellis Island, and this country, they had an issue. Talk to us about that issue that they had in the early 1900s with all the get fights in the ghettos,
Well,
the murder rate before the Irish and Greeks assimilated.
well, they didn't really assimilate until the Second World War in suburbia.
Mm,
They were moving, but it was finalized after World War II.
yeah.
All right. When white folks did not like them, they drank too much, they pissed in the street, they shit in the street, they stole. People would be amazed, but not too long ago in the early 1900s, the abandonment of children and wives with children by Jews in New York, it's like 90%, and they had jobs.
Oh, wow.
For all this talk about how bad black men are, for all the little pork chop feminist hoes out there, black men have been remarkably resilient with far less to work with than a whole bunch of these other groups of men have been. And
Right, 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 right.
nobody talks about it. So you have your gangs, you've got your drinking. So you had your prohibition was really an anti-immigrant movement. Discipline these drunk ass white folk that you didn't want over here that don't speak English. They're funky. And they associate beer with Germans and Irish and other people. So they were evil, they were dirty, unwashed. Okay. And this is part of making people become uh, more American like. So you had American movements, nativist movements to make people be American like. Now, let's remember that 100 years ago, a little over 100 years ago, more like 100, and within the last 105 years, you had the Palmer raids,
Yes.
right? Because the Italians, other people, they were communists, they were bombing shit, anarchists, stealing, doing shit, challenging Anglo white power and shit. And they was deporting getting these motherfuckers out the country, jailing them, killing them.
They
Get the
were. They were.
get out.
You
And
would stop down.
they were beat down, stomped down, rounded up, sent out.
These Africans and Caribbeans don't understand how good they have it when it comes to how we deal with them versus how the Anglo whites deal with the non-Anglo whites.
We don't do anything to them. We've actually helped them. White people didn't have a movement for immigration in this country.
Hmm.
That didn't happen. They don't want these people. But they
They don't want.
came. It's the industrialists. It's the rich industrialists, the people that are making steel. They're the ones that want these people. Average white people don't want these people here.
Hmm.
We didn't invite Africans or Caribbeans here, but we weren't against them coming and have fought for them to be treated fairly. John Conyers, the late John Conyers of Michigan, from Detroit, worked very hard for African immigrants. I know this. I used to hang in his office. The Congressional Black Caucus people have worked tirelessly for the immigrant black communities. Do they do anything for us? No, and they're not going to. And it's okay. They didn't come here to join us. They came here to find their American dream, not to become black Americans.
Right, right, right,
I'm
right,
not
right,
mad
right,
at
right,
anybody. I don't have any malice towards people coming here. My
right, right.
issue is I said this to an immigrant liquor store owner where I buy my Jack Daniels when I have a cold. I haven't been, it's too cold for me to get Jack. So I've been doing other stuff. I mean, I wouldn't have had this cold had it had some Jack. I would have been good. So I wouldn't be hacking up in here. So yes, yes, Jack Daniels works or tequila. Tequila. That's the only time I buy Latino products. It's when I have a chest cold. Anyway, just I said to this woman, I'm not asking you to love me, but I'm asking you what sense does it make to hate me? Because she was telling me that the white people want her store gone, but not the Asian or the white people's stores. I said to her, Miss, you guys have come over here, been here, you Ethiopians have been very shitty towards black Americans. I get it, all this barbari, their word for us barbarian, or baria means we're barbarians, a subhuman. I got it. Shankala.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that means nigger, or I'm just
Yeah,
telling you.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm just telling you, you deal with this. I got you. But I said to, do you know when you guys were over on Ninth Street here in DC and y'all would treat black people bad in your stores and your restaurants? And then you decided in the middle of our neighborhood, you're going to call this little Ethiopia. Certain black people were mad and they were going to like burn your shit up. And they met with the black leadership and says, we don't do this to other black people. This isn't who we are. We aren't white people. Just leave them alone. And so what ended up happening is the white people, not the black people that they treated like shit, have driven them out of there. Not the black, not the Shankella, not the Badia, not the Babiri, but the white people, the ones that they kiss up to. And
Mm-hmm.
so I said to her, you need to go back and talk to your community and realize we aren't fighting you. We've actually supported you. You guys don't support us. And you know what? When they come after you, because you're not with us, they feel comfortable to destroy you. They fear us. They don't give a damn about you. You're simply here to be a problem to us. So, says, you don't have to love me, but why hate me?
Yeah, I'm not your enemy.
I mean, I'm not against you having a store. I come here, I buy, and I'm not going to disrespect. I see the thugs and stuff. I know it's not your fault. I know they're not your people. They bother me too. I don't know. All I have to do is I endure it.
The shortest thing just
Yeah,
froze.
no,
So you,
they're
there we
niggas
go, there we go.
calling. Niggas calling.
Okay. But you were closing out to what you were saying about you not being her enemy.
Yeah, just saying we're not we've never done to the immigrants what the immigrants have done to us for hundreds of years. Hundreds, not 10 years, hundreds. You have places,
Real talk.
I'm thinking of the Jacksonian riots from like the 1820s to the 1860s, where white mobs would just go around and attack black immigrants, would just come and burn up and kill black people for 40 straight years.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that wasn't in the South. Okay, that's Ohio, that's Pennsylvania, that's New York, that's Massachusetts, that's Connecticut, that's Jersey, that's Illinois, that's
Yep.
Indiana, that's
I forgot all about the Jacksonian riots.
I mean, so and we didn't do this to any. It's only been done to us and by people coming in. And have been massacres like the draft riot in New York, just destroy entire black communities. People have taken cannons like they did in Ohio and bombed black areas with cannons. immigrants, other people. So we should be xenophobic. We're not. Our problem is we are fratrophobic, negrophobic.
Explain that.
Well, where you hate your own brother. That's the curse of black folk is we hate each other's guts more than we hate anybody that bothers us. And that's why nobody respects us. And until we overcome that bullshit, we may as well just, ask for someone to ask Elon Musk to give us one of those honorary tattoos until they find some place to gas us all.
Mm-hmm. See, that's what you be making it plain, man. I don't want to have you all day. Close us out
Or
right
can I do
now.
my song?
Close us out, Dr. Trump short, about what you want to tie about what we've been talking about and what we should look forward to. That you and I we gonna link up again real
Well,
soon. But
you know what?
close us out.
As long as it's cold, Negroes are going to be indoors. That's the people I'm concerned about. When it gets warm, and in fact, the thing I'm hoping is that a whole bunch of those Homeland Security jobs for that $90 billion that Holman wants, there's going to be a lot of jobs for young black men. I hope they kick the asses of every illegal, kick them out. I hope you take their TV sets and shit. In fact, when they kick the people out, shoplifting's going to go down because those fuckers can steal. And they don't follow their asses around in stores. The retail businesses and shit are going to bounce back and shit. And these fuckers have jobs in government. They steal all the supplies and shit. If you need a Kotex and you got somebody south of the border as a janitor, your ass is gonna bleed out on your own. They ain't shit for you. If they're in charge of supplies and shit, it's either gone back to Mexico, but they stole your car, whatever, or it's in their neighborhood, in their little bodega. This shit's about to end. And oh happy day and shit, Walter Hawkins. When Donald Trump took all the illegals away, oh happy day. He taught us to watch and to get a job from ICE and pray. Amen. So I would say to people, postpone judgment on Trump and watch. But while you're postponing, people need to be thinking about how they can organize to demand policies and how policies can be implemented. Because this is going to be tough. And my main thing is I hope that Donald Trump is able to avert a major war between the United States and Turkey in Syria. That will just be a disaster for us. It will be a disaster for us. I believe we're going to see an end of the war in Ukraine. We're going to see an end to the stuff that's going on in Sudan, where Biden and them started a race war in which hundreds of thousands of people have been murdered in Sudan. Joe Biden and them started a race war in Sudan to kill off the darker skinned Sudanese. This is so sad. All of this has happened with the black Democrats not saying shit. If you care about Africa and Africans and black life, you should be wondering why Biden and them supported the mass murder of Christians in northern Nigeria and the mass murder and other places in Congo that's been going on. And in Ethiopia, hundreds of thousands of people have been killed in Ethiopia with the war Biden and them started down there. These are dead black people. And this little bald-headed, demented freak with his nasty pedophile son and his Alice Cooper-looking bitch wife, these people have fucked the whole world up. Give Donald Trump a couple of weeks. I didn't say years. Weeks. Let it get warm. If you don't see anything you like, act out in Pride Month. Everybody else will.
Right. Pride Month. I think Pride Month's gonna have a little different tone this year than it did the last couple.
Well, yeah, because Trump is shutting down. That's something I'm really happy about is that,
Yeah, talk about that before we leave. Talk
well,
about
well
that.
now having a dick means you're a man again. And having a vagina means you're a woman. I mean, for 4 years, I really wasn't sure. But now that Donald Trump is in, I'm certain that me having a dick means I'm a man, whether it's big or small. I made it into manhood. So all this DEI shit is over. It was only giving jobs to trannies and freaks anyway. And that Milton Berle-looking police chief that your asses have in California, that bitch does look like Uncle Milty. I mean, just all this weird shit, putting ugly looking women in jobs that they can't handle. I mean, the shit's over. Fuck feminism and down with the LGBTQ movement. Y'all went too fucking far. You know, the closet was nicer anyway. Find yourself one and get in it and lock the fucking thing. Hope you lose the key. Shit. It's enough of this damn shit. Folk want to fuck our kids and Newsom destroying everything. Karen Bass's Uncle Fester looking ass, you know. In fact, you know what? Maybe you know what? Karen Bass would go out with Smokey the Bear if she knew he wasn't black. Uh, I'm just saying, you know.
And
Um,
then now you see freaky ass Newsom under fire.
he
People are
should.
really starting to see how much of a dickhead he is.
He really is a dickhead
Yeah.
and probably had more than his wife. I'm telling you, pants all tight and shit. And you heard
Yeah.
Mel Gibson
Freaky
say,
ass
you know,
Newsom look like he could take on three men bigger than He-Man. He
right,
just looks like that kind of dude.
he could dick ride the Washington Monument. I believe that. You know, probably break that shit in half, man.
Freaky ass Newsom.
Yeah,
So
I
I,
mean,
I think that like with Trump, I think it's a goddamn shame that a president has to sign an executive order saying there are only two sexes when everything of two genders, when everything around us requires a masculine and a feminine principle. You got
hmm
holes and you have poles, and a
hmm
pole can't stand up without a hole, and a hole is useless without a pole to stand in it.
and a
And that's just the
pole
way the fuck
loves
life
a
is.
hole. A pole needs a hole.
Right.
I mean, oh Lord, come by here. A pole needs a hole. Come by here,
Exactly.
Lord.
I
Mm.
want to thank you again, Dr. Randy Short. Any last words you want to say before we get up out of here?
Oh, I want to do my solo.
Go ahead.
Okay, this is in honor of our great president. I'll just do some of it. At first, I was afraid. I was petrified, thinking that I couldn't be reelected by a landslide. But I spent so many nights thinking how Biden did me wrong, and I grew strong. And I brought my Megalong along, and now I'm back in the race. I see you commies with that fake news look upon your face. I should have brought my clock. I should have bust the cap and key. If I had known that you would do some lawfare on me, oh no, not I. Trump will survive. Oh, as long as I know how to love, I'll know I'll be alive, right? You thought to be humble. You thought I'd commit suicide. Oh no, not I. Trump will survive. So, didn't he survive?
Dr. Show, we're going to do this again real soon because I don't think it's going to be too much longer before somebody else gets fired. So,
Well, Elon Musk, I think Elon Musk, he better be careful. He better not do anything around Passover. If he does a clearly anti-Jewish thing, the Jews who gave more money than him, they're gonna say he's out. You know, what's that game, Survivor and shit?
yeah, yeah,
He
yeah, yeah.
he won't survive that show. He'll be voted off the fucking island. It's coming. I don't know what he's gonna
All you
do.
need is, look, get five of them to come together, maybe even three, because what they pieced up is more than what he put in. You
Eh,
get three to five of them to come together and say, you know what? Do you want him or us?
What
And
I could see him doing is I could see Elon getting with BB and doing some shit with BB and Trump feeling like he two-timed him. And Trump don't like shit like that. I could see Elon Musk getting fucked up with Trump around Israel and the Middle East shit. And he needs to leave that shit alone. Okay. And see, Elon Musk can make enemies with a whole bunch of people. Look, he looks like a drag queen without a wig on. He looks like one of these white guys that wants to do rough trade and shit. I don't know how he became rich. He's gonna fuck up, and if I have an inkling of it, I'll call you. In the middle, I'll call you 3, 4 in the morning.
You
We
good
talk,
for that?
and just say, Elon fucked up. It's gonna happen like 2 or 3 days. You'll see. Okay, so I know you got to go, and I got to call my Reverend cousin back. And
All right, Dr. Short. So, y'all see Dr. Short's dollar sign written, Dr. Randy
that's
Shields
right.
down
I
there?
need all the money. Send me. I'm so poor. I ran for you for 4 years. They did everything to me. Now I need you to just like make a donation. You don't need to end up on welfare, although SNAP has really great benefits. I'm going to extend them. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, make sure y'all send. Make sure when Dr. Short comes on because he's on Patreon. I send him a little bit of something, and I'm telling you guys that you're already on Patreon, but that's on your heart, But I love to just bless our people who've been there because Dr. Short could have stayed on MSNBC, he could have stayed on Fox News, he could have stayed and watched the Insider, but you see how he is. He can't hold his mouth, so he chose telling the truth over rubbing elbows with these people.
Or
So
asses.
again, we want to show Dr. Short how much we appreciate him. All right.
Treat me like I'm white. I'm worth it.
All right, Dr.
Okay,
Short,
see
man.
you.
You have a
See you.
good one.
All right. Bye bye.